another episode of Tube Talk.
Thank you, Kate, for welcoming me and
It's okay.
everybody.
Yes.
And this week's Tube Talk, we're the last one for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
There'll be none next week because we're
And the week
going
after.
away for a week,
Oh no. Yes.
aren't we?
Yes.
We're having a little break, a little holiday,
Little
which will be nice. So Tube Talk will be back in 2 weeks. But
Okay.
we've got a lot to talk about.
We have
If we can
a
cover
total
off.
of 13 horses running this week, and a few we have to talk about from last week, so let's get into it.
Right.
So, last week we had a winner. Maidstone Park won on Thursday at Awapuni.
Lovely win. A horse she's only a 3-year-old filly, and she's improved a lot with maturity and a little in between her last preparation. She trialled well, second up she's won well, and she looks like a horse that's going to be able to go further as well. So really good win, very happy, and she's got more in front of her.
On Saturday we had Campari, who won, but was controversially relegated after the race.
I cannot believe that they relegated her. It is unfathomable.
Unfathomable.
She came from last, swept past the field, held her line. She was the one that got bumped. It's ludicrous. I cannot believe that she was relegated. I've been very upset by it, and I have been emailing NZTR this week,
Yes.
asking them to explain the decision and the processes. And that is ongoing, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I can tell you're very passionate. Your eyes started twitching as soon as you start talking about it.
Furious. I can't understand how they could come to that decision.
Okay. Then we had Rakik, who ran third in Sydney.
Very unlucky third. Got held up, changed ground about 3 times, dashed at the line. If you remember a couple of weeks ago, we said back him next start. He paid nearly $5 a place. With clear running, would have won. Follow him.
Cool. Then we had Stardom, who ran fourth.
And I want to talk about this horse because he was in a strong 3-year-old 2,000 metre race, the winner of which is now favourite for the Queensland Derby. He looked flat on the turn, but his best part of his race was his last 150 metres, 200 metres. He was strong to the line, he'll stay. He's in the Queensland Derby next Saturday, 8th of June, and he's just on the cusp of making the field, so hopefully he does, so I think he'll run out in the distance strongly.
Then we had Geneva, who ran fifth on debut at Fielding.
And I want to talk about this horse because I think it's got a lot of class. She was a little bit green, she only had one behind her, got held up by runners, got out wide. Best work was late. She came from second last to fifth, ran down the outside, lovely action, quality filly. I think you can back her with confidence next up.
Cool. Now let's jump into this week. So, on Friday at Riccarton, in race 1 we have Aristotle.
Yeah, he's a horse that I don't think always gives everything he can. 2 starts ago he was very good, ran third and could have won. Last start he just was a bit flat again. So he's racing over a mile. Blinkers on, Matt Cameron back on, and if he gives us all he'll be right there, but we've got to get him to produce that. That's the big thing.
Then in race 8 we have Major Issue.
If a mare that's been a little bit unlucky. She's won a couple of times. She won a couple of times already, and she just last start was actually a really good run. The jockey just got far too far back and had too much ground to make up. Robbie had him on this time. Hopefully she can settle midfield. She's always a danger in races like this.
Then on Saturday at Ellerslie in race 7 we have Oh He Can.
He hasn't come up that well this time. First up run wasn't great. Second up run was a little bit better. He's travelling well but not quite letting down. At his best he would be able to beat this field no problem. So he's a watch horse for me on Saturday. Won't want it getting too wet, like a dead 6 or so will be fine for him. We're claiming off him taking 3 kilos off his back, so he'll be on ability he can win. If he runs poorly again, I think we'll put him in the paddock.
Then in race 8 we have Hasbro and Beltesta.
Hasbro unfortunately has a wide draw because I think he would have been a big chance. We were going to put him in the paddock, but we decided to give him another mile race because he was kicking and bucking and doing so well. So he's in, but he's got barrier 13, which makes it tough. We're probably only going to have to get back in the running and let him run home. If he doesn't cover too much ground, he's certainly got the ability to win. He's an interesting horse to watch. If he runs down the track, he's just telling us he's had enough and wants the paddock. But could round this field up no problems if he's on his game. Beltesta, She is starting off her campaign. Her first up run has a 0 next to it. It was actually a very good run, over 1,400 metres, which is too short for her. She ran, it's 10th, but she's only beaten just over 3 lengths. She's stepping to a mile, has an awkward barrier draw, but she'll run well, but look for her when she gets to 2,000 metres next up.
Cool. Then on Saturday at Kembla Grange, in race 6, we have Ferry Me Home.
Yeah, so he's had 2 starts last prep for a 5th and a 3rd. He looks a very promising horse. He's bred to stay. This is just a starting point from the 1,300 metres. It's too short. It looks like quite a strong provincial race. But he's settling much better this time, and his trials has been good. So he should be able to settle midfield and finish off well. And he's a top 3 chance, but even better when he gets over more ground.
Awesome. Then in race 9, we have Alward.
Alward's had a couple of runs this time in. His first up run, the Hawkesbury Gold Cup, was actually very good. He got back off a slow pace, sprinted well. Last start, he just took his hook. He got pushed out of the barriers. He took his hook and just led and stopped as he was entitled to do. Goes back to Melbourne, goes to Caulfield. He races well left-handed. He's got a lovely barrier draw too. Craig Newer on board. He should be able to sit handy to the pace, just in behind them, and as long as he relaxes and get a good run, he can bounce back to form. I think he's a really nice bet on Saturday.
Cool. Then on Sunday at Wingatui in race 5, we have Rock the Cradle.
Yeah, so Rock the Cradle is in the early part of his new preparation. He's fitter now. His last run wasn't too bad. He sort of looked gone on the turn, but then he came back. A slow 9 track should suit him. So he's got the outside barrier draw, which doesn't help, but he'll be handy. He's won at Wingatui before, and I think we'll see him improve on his last start run.
Also on Sunday at Belrat, we have Sail in race 4.
Yeah, and on synthetic track, and Sail hasn't run on that before. One of our European imports. He's only just a 3-year-old. He's got a lot of maturity to come. He was a 2-year-old. We bought him October last year, so he's like a spring 3-year-old now, even though all the Australian southern bred 3-year-olds are almost 4. So he's 6 months behind them in maturity. His last one was very good. He got back, came between runners, finished off really strongly, looking for more ground. Has a nicer barrier draw 5 this week. Should be able to settle in a reasonably good spot, and I think you'd look for him to improve again and be a top 3 chance.
Then we jump to Monday, and on Monday in race 2 we have Make Time and Shibuya Cossington.
Yeah, and the 2-year-old race. So Make Time first, on debut. He's a half to Geneva and a half to North and South Estates winner, so it's a really good family. He won't mind a little bit of cut in the track. I don't think he really wants a heavy track, but they did 6, 7, 8. His trials have been nice, have been good, and he can run a really good race on debut. He'll probably be over the odds, I would say. And I'd say if you're sitting on your couch on Monday and you've got $10 in your account, he's worth 5 each way.
Cool. Then in race...
Shibuya Cossington.
Yes, very cool name.
A very cool name. And a lovely filly. 3rd last start. Doesn't mind a little bit of moisture. It was a slow 9. She'd probably want it a little bit better than that. Drawn midfield, good experience, good ability. Should be, as long as she gets a nice little run in transit, not covering too much ground, she can be right in the finish as well. I think it's quite a strong field, but we've got 2 good chances.
Cool. Then in race 3 we have Zipper.
Zipper's come back really well. 2 starts for 2 fourths. Just got caught wide and went a bit too hard last start, but hit the front, was in front and got run down late. Unfortunately, has another wide barrier draw. I think if we can just get her a little bit of cover and get her relaxed, which is going to be hard to do, she won't mind the slow 8 track conditions. And the way she's racing, she's a definite top 3 chance. I think she's in for a good campaign.
Cool. Then finally in race 8 we have Mark 2.
So Mark 2 were backing up from last Saturday. Last Saturday she ran over 2,200 metres. She got caught. She was stepping up from a mile. So we wanted to ride her conservatively. Unfortunately got caught 3 wide for the first sort of 800 metres and had to work a bit too hard. She tracked into the race but just couldn't quite finish it off. It wasn't a bad run. So she's dropping in grade from 82 to 72. She's got barrier 3 this time. A dead 6 to slow track won't bother her. She should be able to sit up quite a bit handier. and she should be far more competitive. And I can see her really improving on her last up run, and she's certainly not the worst of our chances. And if she gets back to her best form, she'll be beating this field.
Cool, and now it's time for Bid of the Week, chosen by me again.
It is.
And this week's Bid of the Week is Makataka.
Where is it, Katie?
I do not know.
At Ellerslie.
Yes.
On Saturday, the 3-year-old race. We picked him, went through because he did 2 trials before he kicked off for 2 wins. He came out, he won very, very easily on debut. It looks like quite a strong field, but he's a horse that could just be overlooked a little bit, and on raw ability, he's right up to them. So he's probably double figures. So a nice little each way bet.
And he has an awesome name.
It is an awesome name.
Well, that wraps up Tube Talk for this week.
It does, and so we're back and see you in 2 weeks' time.
Okay, bye.
Up and rolling, still in a pocket with Allwood sticking on now. Up and rolling, looking to come off heels. Quick Defence puts him back in a pocket. Allwood in front. Allwood from Zorkenig. Quick Defence sticks on. Up and rolling, we'll have the number. Poppet getting out. Allwood in front. Inside the 150. Allwood a length clear. Up and rolling, gets the run now. He's running out of ground, and Allwood's going to win it. Allwood goes on to win it by 3/4 to Up and Rolling, who was beaten by competitive riding.